This. Which side do you like better?
Brown. The brown side.
Today I'm going to show you how to make homemade pita. Fluffy, pocket-filled pita. It's super easy to make. Don't be intimidated by bread. This whole thing, including proofing, kneading, resting, all of that, 2 hours. 2 hours for fresh, homemade pita. Everyone should do this. So the dough for pita is very simple. I'm going to start by mixing some warm water. You don't want to use water that's too hot because it will kill your yeast, and that is sad. Adding a little bit of sugar, some salt, olive oil, and this is instant yeast. And I'm going to whisk this together with a little bit of whole wheat flour. So a little bit of whole wheat flour adds a nice nutty flavor, but we don't want to use too much because it makes it difficult to develop the gluten. And we need good gluten formation to get nice pockets in our pita. So now that this is dissolved and smooth, I'm going to add the all-purpose flour to it. Because it's such a small batch and it comes together so easily, I like to mix it all by hand. I like to start by just bringing it together with my fingers into a shaggy mess. So once we get it to this point, I'm going to start kneading. Because this is such a wet dough, I like to do all the kneading in a bowl. If you turn it out onto a board, you're going to end up adding so much flour to it, you're going to end up with a really dry pita. I'm just folding it over, turning my bowl, just keep going, and we want it to get nice and smooth. It's going to stay a little sticky. This is a wet dough. The recipe says to delicately fold it in a bowl for 10 minutes, or you can do this for like 3. Your choice. The choice is yours. I've been eating for about 10 minutes, and you can see now the dough is nice and smooth and soft. It's still a little sticky, but that's what we want. And now I'm going to transfer it to a clean bowl with a little bit of olive oil just to keep it from sticking. And I like to get it totally coated in the oil so we don't get a skin. Now I'm just going to cover it with a damp towel, and this is just going to take an hour to proof. We want it to double in size. My pita dough has rested for about an hour, and as you can see now, it is doubled in size. It is alive, poofy, and I'm gonna punch it down, which is very satisfying. I think it's my favorite part of making bread. So, I'm just gonna eyeball this into 6 portions. I'm just gonna roughly form these into balls. I like to not have any flour on the counter. The friction will help you form the balls properly. And we're not pushing down, it's more of like you're moving the dough in circles, not pushing down. You don't wanna squish it. You just wanna do it until it's smooth and you get rid of this butthole. You don't want any butthole. See that? It can help sometimes if you're a beginner to use 2 hands. And you can see I'm just pushing it around. I'm not squishing it onto the table. Just keep it in this circular motion. We're not pushing down, being really gentle. There's a little size discrepancy, but we just eyeballed it. It's homemade, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna cover it up for just a little bit. They need to relax just a moment. We're not trying to proof it right now. We just need to let the gluten relax so it's ready to roll. It's really important to roll your pita out thin enough. We wanna be at no more than 1/4 inch thick. If it's too thick, you're not gonna get a pocket, it's just gonna be bread. So if you want a pita with a pocket, you wanna roll it about 1/4 inch thick. It's way easier than making parathas. So this dough, you can see, is like rolling really easily. It's very soft and supple. That's because it's got so much moisture in it, and that moisture is gonna turn into steam as soon as we stick it in the oven and give us that nice big pocket. Okay, so now that my pita's all rolled out, I'm gonna cover them up with this same damp towel just to make sure that it doesn't get like a crust on the surface. And they're gonna proof for just half an hour. They're gonna get a little bit puffy, and that's when they're ready to bake. The pita has now proofed for half an hour, and you can see it's got a little poof going on. Check it out. It just looks like it's a little plumper, happier, fluffier. I have a preheated baking steel. My oven's as hot as it goes, and as soon as I get it in there, I'm gonna flip it over. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready? This is gonna happen fast. Okay. And do. What's gonna happen is the exterior of the pita is gonna set right away from the dry heat, while on the inside we're creating steam. And because the outside is set, we're gonna be able to like poof into a nice pocket. When the pita poofs, it's done. If you leave it in there long enough to get color on the top, it's gonna dry out. If you want a little bit more char on there, the best thing to do is after this first bake, you can char it on the other side in a cast iron pan. Oh, look, it's there. See? Ooh, check it out. This is a nicely risen pita. And I like to use these silicone tipped tongs so I don't rip a hole like I just did. I ripped a hole in it. Check out this pita pocket. Oh. Homemade bread does not need to be intimidating. This stuff only takes 2 hours start to finish. So go ahead, do this tonight. Make pita.